All right. Good morning, everybody. Let's go ahead and have a seat. We'll get centered in on this lovely Monday morning. So find a nice straight spine. Shoulders relaxed, jaw relaxed. Just kind of take a moment to settle into your place, settle into your body. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Just a big sigh through the mouth. Close your eyes and start tuning in a little bit deeper. Really notice everything about your body. Is there anywhere that feels tight or tense? Is there anywhere that feels particularly good this morning? Notice all of it. We're just sort of taking a quick physical inventory. And start breathing a little slower, a little deeper, some good ujjayi breath to bring oxygen and prana into the body. And so as we're energizing our body with this breath, the sound helps focus our attention, and we have the capacity to look at our thought patterns at the moment. We can observe any emotions our thoughts might be creating. And we can just kind of pay attention to what our energy feels like right now. And then choosing what we want, we bring our palms together in front of our hearts to set our intention for practice. So because this is an early morning practice with you guys, if you would like, you can do an intention for your yoga practice and an intention for your day. Sometimes they're the same thing, sometimes they're different. But feel free to be really clear about what it is that you need and want. And then take an extra deep breath in. Exhale through your mouth. Open your eyes. I'd like you to just kind of lean back on your hands for a moment. Knees are going to be bent, but you're going to take your feet wide. So you have just kind of this nice wide stance here. We're going to gently drop legs to one side and then the other. Just saying good morning to the hips a little bit before we even get up to start moving. So just bringing knees up and dropping them to one side, bringing them back up and dropping them the opposite direction. You should have about a 90-degree angle at your knees. Do this a couple more times in each direction. We'll just ease into things today. And then as you kind of feel like you're even and you're ready, transition onto hands and knees, all fours. And instead of traditional cat-cows, we're going to circle the hips. So you kind of take your bum back like you would for a child's pose, and then around to the left and kind of forward and around to the right. Let's go 3 hip circles in each direction. Starting to get things moving and flowing. Make sure you change directions and go both ways. And then as you complete 3 in each direction, just turn your toes under and push the hips up and back for downward facing dog. I suggest you go ahead and pedal the feet a little bit today. One heel presses down while the opposite knee bends, and then you switch. And then press both heels down, push the hips back, and walk your feet forward. Keep your knees bent.
Dangled in ragdoll for a couple of breaths here. Make sure your neck is relaxed. Keep your knees bent so that you can feel your glutes stretching and the low back lengthening. And then inhale, reach the arms up, stretch up, spread your fingers, look up, and then exhale. Palms together in front of the heart. Just going to take a moment to really, pardon me, connect down to the earth. Really feel the soles of your feet for a moment. I want you to feel very grounded. And then inhale, reach the arms up. And exhale, fold forward, standing forward bend. Inhale, look up halfway, and then back down. So we're going to step back with the left foot. Just hold your lunge on the right side here. Just kind of take a few breaths to really allow yourself to receive the benefits of the pose. So particularly when we've practiced for a long time, it's easy to kind of zone out and just let the body do what it thinks it needs. But if we do that, the body's always going to stay in the place of least resistance. So in a lunge like this, it's easy to hold the hips up or keep the knee bent. You want to try and straighten your left leg, your back leg, and allow the hips to drop. You want to feel something here. Let's go ahead and drop the left knee down. You're going to put your right hand on the inside of your right knee. Roll to the outside edge of your foot. Very important. Gently press against the inside of that right thigh, right knee. You should not feel it in the knee. You should feel it in the right hip. So if you need to, keep that right ankle flexed. And we'll take a couple of breaths here. Just bring your right hand back down outside the right foot and extend your right leg. You want to flex the ankle and toes, lift the chest, pull it forward if you can. So as much as possible, we're trying to wake up the right hamstring, that's the back of the right thigh, maybe the right calf, and also lengthen the spine and relax the shoulders all at the same time while still breathing a beautiful, deep, slow Ujjayi breath. Bend your right knee, bring the arms up and overhead. We're going to tilt the pelvis, lift the chest, let the hips move forward. So just really taking a moment to find sensation on the front of that left hip. Again, not being mindless, but being mindful. Tightening muscles at the base of the left glute so that the front of the left hip opens. Go ahead and bring both hands down inside the right foot. Come onto your left forearm or walk if you need to, maybe the right forearm. Take a breath here, and then we're just going to fine tune it. So we'll keep the left knee down. I want you to hug your right inner thigh in towards your torso. So don't let that right leg be lazy. You want to hug it in, and if possible, look forward. Spine stays extended. You should be feeling this behind your right thigh. And then from here, we'll just bring the hands back to the mat, step it back to plank. Take a breath just to feel the core engaging and waking up. And then this first time down, we'll modify. Drop down knees, chest, and chin. Untuck your toes, slide your forearms forward. Keep the toes touching, but allow the heels to drop open. So coming into Sphinx, we want the chest to lift, the shoulders to relax. We're going to pull with our forearms to just create a little bit of extra space in the low back. So low back and hips are so connected as far as tightness and looseness. And we want everything open and free. So that's what we're working on. Bring your hands back, turn the toes under, second downward facing dog. And on this one, just really connect your palms to the floor, broaden the shoulder blades, press the hips back, and really press those heels down. Take a big step forward with your left foot. And again, being really present in your body. So not just hanging out in a lunge here, but actually feeling every part of your anatomy, allowing the hips to surrender slightly to gravity, allowing that right leg to straighten so that you're actually feeling something here. And then we're going to drop the right knee down. I want you to put your left hand on the inside of the left knee, roll to the outside edge of the left foot. Then you apply some pressure until you feel your left hip. Let's go ahead and bring left hand back down to the mat. Extend your left leg. Flex the ankle and the toes. Lift the chest and pull forward. Shoulders relax. Go ahead and bend that left knee. Bring the arms up and overhead. Pelvis tilts back. That's so important for allowing that right front hip to open. And then the hips start to move forward. You keep the muscles at the base of your right buttock contracted so that the muscles on the front of the right hip can release and lengthen. And then we're going to bring both hands down inside the left foot. Come on to the right forearm. Remember, you can use a block if you need to. Maybe both forearms come down. Regardless, we want to try and hug that left inner thigh in towards the torso. So if you look over at your left leg, hopefully it's somewhere close to vertical. Your left shin should be vertical. You don't want it splaying out to the side. We want to try and lengthen the spine here. And then come back up onto your hands and just step forward to your standing forward bend. Inhale and reach the arms up and overhead. Exhale, palms together in front of the heart. Take your feet approximately the width of your mat. We're coming into a yogic squat. So as you know, heels are flat. Adjust as necessary for your body. Sometimes changing the width of the feet can make it a little easier to get down. Inhale, reach the arms all the way back up and overhead. As you exhale, bring your palms together in front of your heart. Inhale, reach the arms up and stretch. Exhale, fold all the way forward to your standing forward bend. Inhale, look up halfway. Exhale, back down. We're going to step back with the right foot. If you can, just come on up into a high lunge. Arms are up and overhead. Pelvis tilts. We're allowing the hips to drop and sink so we feel sensation. From here, simply spin the right heel flat and open out into a warrior two. Now, what I would like for you to focus on in your warrior two is really using outer hip muscles on the left side to get that knee to press strongly towards the little toe, but your foot is still pointing parallel to the long sides of the mat. We don't rotate the foot. And then imagine that that left thigh is kind of rolling out or rolling back. Right thigh rolling out or back, but your right leg is straight. Put your left hand on the inside of your left thigh. Bring your right hand down to your right shin. Maybe slide it all the way down to the ankle. And then when you do get wherever you're going, press your left arm totally straight. So we're tractioning out left hip, left side of the spine. Come all the way back up into your warrior two, and then straighten the left leg. Lengthen your spine to the left and find your triangle pose this morning. And I want you to really be mindful of straight left leg and lots of length in your spine. So you don't want to have a curved spine here. You don't want a C shape in your spine. As much as possible, you want it to be a straight line from your tailbone to the base of your skull. Come on up from that, bend your left knee again, warrior two. Mindful of that left outer hip contraction. Very active, warrior two. And then let's reverse our warrior. Right hand, right thigh, left arm up and over. Just stretch. Keep that left knee pressing towards the baby toe. And then come all the way up. Take your hands to the mat. Step it back to plank position. Take the vinyasa of your choice. Just pay attention to your body and follow your breath. Really reach your hips back. Press your heels down. Imagine that your tailbone is kind of trying to poke up towards the ceiling. That'll help you really feel your hamstrings here. And then we're going to step the right foot forward. Come on up into that high lunge. Arms are up and overhead. We're going to tilt the pelvis. Allow the hips to sink a little bit. Breathe. Spin the left heel flat and open out, warrior two. Just like we did on the first side, be very mindful of contracting that right outer hip so that the knee is pressing towards the little toe. Imagine that your thighs are rolling outward. And then we're going to take the right hand to the inside of the right thigh, left hand to the left shin. Maybe let it slide down towards the left ankle. Press the right arm completely straight. Now we're tractioning out the right hip and the right side of the spine. Come all the way back up, warrior two. Straighten your right leg. Lengthen your spine to the right. Find your triangle pose on this side. So not getting caught up in movement patterns that we maybe normally do, but paying attention to your body right now, right here today. Right side of the spine, nice and long. Both legs straight if you can. Come all the way back up into your warrior two. And now we'll reverse it. Left hand on left thigh, right arm up and over. Keep that right knee pressing towards the little toe. So basically you're just contracting that right outer hip. And we'll come back up and bring the hands to the mat, stepping back to plank and taking a vinyasa. From here, you can either walk or jump your feet forward, standing forward bend. Inhale, reach the arms all the way up and overhead, and as you exhale, palms together in front of the heart. Turn sideways on your mat. Take a nice wide side step. We're going to start with just the toes pointing forward. So hinge at your hips. You can either grab your elbows or bring your hands to the floor. We're just going to relax the neck and hang forward for a moment. And then keeping hands on the floor, rotate the feet out just a little bit so that your knees can comfortably track over your toes. You're going to bend your right knee, keeping that right heel flat, kind of sinking into a side lunge. And then come back up, straighten the right knee, bend your left knee. You can walk the hands over a little bit if you need to. Left heel stays flat. Come back up, walk back over towards your right foot, right heel flat, maybe start getting those left toes to point towards the ceiling, like for Skandasana. Put your left toes back down, walk back over towards your left foot, heel is flat, maybe the right toes are pointing up towards the ceiling now. One more time, right foot down, walk over towards the right foot, bend the right knee, heel is flat. Left toes point towards the ceiling. Maybe you can take the hands off the mat, maybe not. It's okay. Just do your best. And then hands back down, left foot plants. And we walk over towards the left foot, right toes point at the ceiling. Maybe the hands come off the mat. Hands back down. Toe heel your feet all the way in. Inhale, reach the arms up. And then exhale, palms together in front of the heart. All right, so I'm going to have us balance in half moon, Ardha Chandrasana. It's actually kind of appropriate. We're right at about the half moon phase with moon phases. But that's because everything that we've done so far, and including the half moon that we're about to do, we're going to kind of link it all together for like the final series. So just a reminder, if you need a block, kind of as an arm lengthener or to bring the floor closer to you, it's fine to do that. If you are balance challenged this morning, feel free to do this against a wall or to have a piece of furniture to hang on to, so take care of yourself. But what we're going to do is we'll go ahead and balance on the right foot first. Your right hand or your block or your furniture, your thumb of your right hand should line up with the little toe of the right foot. So you're almost on a straight line, but not quite. It's a very helpful hint. So it's not quite as hard to balance. And then as much as you can, your left leg will extend, your left arm will point up, and maybe you can shift your gaze towards your left hand. Do your best. Let's do this little practice half moon. So the right hand is down, torso distance from the right foot. The left leg extends nice and straight, and the left hand reaches for the ceiling. And maybe you shift your gaze. Come on back up. And we'll go for the other side. So now we're going to stand on the left foot. Same rules apply. Helpful hints. Thumb of the left hand will align with the little toe of the left foot. The right leg extends. The right arm reaches up. Maybe you shift your gaze towards your right hand. Right foot back down and come on back up to standing. So come to the front of the mat, bring your feet wide to the edges of the mat. You're coming into your second yogic squat now. It's okay this time if your feet rotate out slightly. Preferably you get as deep as you can on this one with the heels flat. And we take a couple of breaths, lifting the chest. Remember, it's okay to support your weight on your hands if you need to. You should never feel pain in the knees. Inhale, come all the way back up. Reach the arms up and overhead. Bring your feet together. Bring your palms together. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, fold forward, standing forward bend. We'll go through it slowly. Inhale, look up and lengthen. Exhale, back down. I'm going to have you step back with your right foot. Hold your lunge for a moment. Get very centered in your breath. And then on your next inhale, raise the arms up and overhead. As you exhale, sink your hips. So all you're going to do is put all of these components that you've been working on together for a really nice little flow here. On your next exhale, warrior two. Hips are engaged. Left leg straightens, lengthen out. Triangle pose. Come back up, warrior two. Now what we're going to do from here is set you up for the next part of the phase. I want you to straighten your left leg, rotate the right foot out slightly, sink down into Skandasana on the right side. Left toes are pointing at the ceiling. Left foot back down, right toes rotate in, warrior two. Okay, from here, left hand to the ground, right hand to the ceiling, half moon. And here's where the fun comes in. Take your time, you guys. Just be mindful with your movement. We're going to put the right foot down, slightly angled out, and drop straight into Skandasana. Left toes point at the ceiling. Cool, right? Come on, back up. Rotating right foot in, left knee bends. Warrior two. Let's go ahead and reverse it. Right hand, right thigh, left arm up and over. Breathe. Back into your warrior two. And then we'll take the hands to the mat, step it back to plank, and take a vinyasa. Right foot steps forward. Hold your lunge for a moment. Just like we did on the first side, get firmly established in your breath. You know what you're kind of up against now. You survived, so now we go for side two. On your next inhale, bring the arms up and overhead. Exhale, allow the hips to sink a little bit. We're going to spin the left heel flat, warrior two. From here, straightening the right leg, lengthening out, coming into triangle pose. Come back up, warrior two. Just like we did on the other side, you get this little bit of a kind of a practice run. Left toes are going to rotate out, just sink over to your left, Skandasana. So the left heel is flat, right toes are pointing up. Come back up, rotating left foot back in, warrior two. Here we go for the fun one. Right hand to the ground, left leg lifts. So we're coming up into our half moon here. And remember, this is where we're going to drop straight into Skandasana. So you're going to take your left foot down, slightly angled out, just drop straight into that side lunge squat. Come back up into your warrior two. And then left hand to the left thigh. Let's reverse it. Right arm up and over. Come all the way back up. Warrior two. Take your hands to the mat and take a vinyasa. Really stretch in your downward facing dog. Lengthen, lengthen. Then I'd like you to take your right leg up in the air, bend your right knee, draw 3 circles in each direction with your right knee. It was just hip mobility, right? As you finish out your third one, allow your right foot to kind of drop behind you, rolling right hip open towards the ceiling, what I sometimes call downward facing scorpion, and then put your right foot back down. Take your left leg up in the air, bend the left knee, 3 big circles with your left knee, each direction, by the way, 3 each way. As you finish them out, that left leg just kind of drops behind you as your left hip rolls open towards the ceiling. Left foot back down. You can either walk or jump forward to a standing forward bend. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, palms together in front of your heart. So now we're going to keep the feet really, really close together for our last yogic squat. You might actually even be able to do this with them touching. If not touching, at least very close together. If you wind up like hitting your backside rolling, it's okay because we're going to be sitting after this anyway. So give it your best shot. Usually to kind of counterbalance, having your arms in front of you is helpful. Heels are going to stay flat. And you're just squatting. Take a couple more breaths here. And then you can either just put your bum down and come into Skandasana or find your way to a seated position. Take a couple of breaths here, straight spine, legs extended, just noticing how you feel. From this position, inhale and reach the arms up. Now, as you exhale, I want you to actually rotate to the right. Arms are like a T. Your left hand can lean out and either grab right calf or right foot, but keep the chest lifted, legs straight, and try and rotate that right hand behind you. You might feel this a little bit in your right hip as well as your hamstring. Take one more breath here. Come all the way back up, arms up and overhead. Exhale, rotate to the left. Let the right hand grab left foot or calf or knee. Chest is lifted still, legs maintain their length and energy. Maybe you'll feel this a little in the left hip as well as the hamstring. Come back up, arms are up and overhead, and as you exhale, extend your chest forward. Coming into Paschimottanasana, seated forward bend, both legs extended. Coming up from that, we're going to bring the right foot on top of the left thigh, just above the knee. Flex that right ankle. Lean out over your left leg for a moment. And then just come on up, keep your right ankle crossed with it flexed. Hands are right behind you for a straight spine. We're gonna bend the left knee. So it's the seated figure 4. Scooch up if you need to. Chest is lifted. Be conscious not to hunch and round. Heart is lifting and pushing forward. Those of you that prefer to grab the left shin and use it for leverage to lift the heart even higher, go for it. You should feel this in your right glute. And then we're just gonna walk that left foot over so it's underneath the right knee. Both ankles flex. Just taking a couple of breaths in stacked logs. Now, if you're extra tight like I am today, and that right knee is pretty high, you can either just work with a straight spine or play with leaning forward. If you have more flexible hips, you can twist to your left and bring that right tricep into the arch of the right foot. One more breath here. Come on up, extend both legs out. Give them a good wiggle. And then we'll bring the left foot on top of the right thigh. The ankle is flexed. Go ahead and lean out over your right leg for a moment. Come on up from that. Hands are behind you for that super straight spine. Right knee bends. You can scooch up towards it if you need to. Hands can stay behind you for a straight spine, or you can clasp your right shin. But make sure that you keep your heart lifting and pulling forward. So you're not trying to round the back. You want to really fully extend your spine here. And then we're gonna just gently walk that right foot over underneath the left knee. Please remember both ankles should stay flexed to protect your knees. So again, if you're like me and you're tighter, you're just trying to keep your buns down and maybe lean forward. If you have more flexibility, you can twist to the right and bring that left tricep into the arch of the left foot. One more breath here. Come on up, extend both legs out. Give them a good wiggle. And then we're just gonna come into a very simple seated twist. So just an easy cross-legged position, nothing extreme. You're gonna twist to the right first. So as you bring your right hand behind you, you kind of push into the ground for a straight spine. Your left hand can rest on the right knee. You lift your chest and you start to rotate to the right. Now, be mindful that with this left hand, you're not pulling up on the right knee. You don't want to do that. You can press down on it if you like, but really the left hand is just resting on the right knee. So make sure you're not yanking your body around. Let the eyes turn to the right as well, and we'll take a few breaths here. Rotate back around, switch the crossing of the legs. Left hand is behind you now. Right hand can rest on left knee. You're pushing into the floor with that left hand as you twist to the left. Remember, right hand should not be pulling on the left knee. Even your eyes are turning to the left here. Slowly unwind yourself, and you can just roll onto your back, hug your knees in, and rock side to side. Place the feet wider than the mat with your knees bent. So when we very first started, we were seated, dropping the knees in and out. This is the deeper version of that, and you've done that with me before. So we're going to start by dropping both knees to the left. If you're not feeling enough in that right outer hip, look down at your right leg. Make sure that your knee is just in alignment with your right hip and that you've got about 90 degrees at the right knee, and flex the ankle. If you're still not feeling enough, then your left foot comes on top of the right knee. We try and keep both shoulder blades flat and even try and keep that right glute moving towards the ground. So we want this to stretch our outer hip on the right side, that IT band, iliotibial band. And we just take a few breaths here. If your left foot is on top of the right knee, take it off and put it back outside the mat. Both legs come back up and you drop your knees to the right. So you just hang for a second, see how it feels. If you want more, the first thing you do is you check, you look down. Is your left knee directly in alignment with your left hip? And you have about a 90-degree angle at the left knee. If that's true and you still want more, then you put your right foot on top of the left knee. Just let that right leg relax. Try and keep both shoulders flat as much as possible. Left glute is still in contact with the mat. So we're just trying to open out that left outer hip. If your right ankle is on the left knee, take it off, put it back outside the mat, keeping your feet wide, prop your knees together. Take a couple of breaths here. And then you can just toe heel your feet in towards each other until your big toes can touch and your heels can separate. So we're going to be doing bridge pose, but I'm going to offer you the opportunity to lengthen your spine a little bit more. I mean, bridge is a spine lengthening pose. We're going to do it twice. The first time, if you choose to, you can actually have your hands on the top of the pelvis, the iliac crest, pushing it away from the rib cage while you're lifting the rib cage up and away from the pelvis. And then the second time, we'll do it with Uddiyana Bandha, the flying up block, or a stomach lift if you choose to. Both of those are optional, but we want big toes touching, heels separated. So first, just go ahead and lift up into your bridge pose, wherever that is for you this morning. Then, if you choose to, your hands are actually going to wrap around the top of the pelvis. So your thumbs are behind you and your four fingers are in front of you. As you're lifting the rib cage, you're pushing strongly, pushing your hips away from the rib cage. Take a couple breaths. Go ahead and lower down, make a couple of wrist circles if you need to. And then we're going to lift up one more time and do a stomach lock or stomach lift. So just a reminder, you empty the lungs completely, lift the rib cage, and then relax and breathe in. Here we go. Lift up into your bridge. You're welcome to interlace fingers if you like. Just find your best, most comfortable bridge today. And then Uddiyana Bandha, you take a deep breath in. Exhale all of your air out. All of it. Pull the navel in, lift the rib cage. Relax and breathe in, and as you breathe out, lower your spine back down. Hug the knees in and rock side to side. From here, we're just going to keep the knees bent and drop both of them over to the right, left arm opening up to the left. Now, if you choose to, your left leg, that's the top leg, you can cross that over the right one and drop the knees back down. And that'll make it a deeper twist with a little bit of a left hip opener. That's optional, so you decide if that's a good idea for you or not. As you next inhale, bring the legs back up. If they were crossed, uncross them, hug them in and rock side to side. So we begin with the knees uncrossed. They're both bent and up in the air. We're just going to drop them over to the left and let the right arm open out to the right. Take a breath or two here. We're never in a hurry with our practice, right? So you're breathing, and then you decide if you want a deeper twist and you want to feel it maybe a little bit in the right hip, your right leg, the top leg, crosses over the left leg, the bottom leg, and you drop back over. And maybe you get a little extra twist. And so if that's a good idea for you, please do it. And if it's not, then you skip it. On your next inhale, bring your legs back up, uncross them. Hug the knees in. Give yourself a nice side to side rock. And then using your hands, go ahead and separate your knees so they're far apart. Arms come through the center, the middle. And I want you to grab the inside arches of your feet. Traditional dead bug. Lower leg gets vertical, right? So your ankles are vertically stacked over your knees, and then you pull straight down. You're trying to really ground the back of your pelvis into the mat. You're keeping the lower leg vertical with the knees wide. You're pulling on the arches of your feet. So you should feel this in the back of your thighs and maybe even a little bit in the glutes. Take a couple more breaths here. And then you can just grab the outside edges of your feet, no rules. Play, explore, move around, wiggle. It's happy baby time. You get to see and feel here what you've accomplished in your practice. And you get to just find any perhaps unreleased things that might be residing in the hips or low back or hamstrings, and you can get rid of those now. So just a couple more breaths here. When you feel like you're ready, feet come to the mat, the knees drop open and the soles of the feet touch. We take a deep breath in, pressing the low back into the mat. So it's a backward tilt of the pelvis. It effectively removes the curve from your low back. We just hold this for one more breath. What it's doing is lengthening the low back muscles. The next time you exhale, just relax. You'll feel your pelvis drop forward. The arch will return to your back. One more time, we inhale, flatten the low back. And this time we just exhale and release, extend the legs, separate the feet, whatever distance feels really good for you this morning. Remember, we're not doing old patterns. We're staying very present in our bodies this morning. The shoulders slide down the back. The hands are palms up towards the sky. The neck is long. The jaw is soft. The forehead is smooth. The eyes are closed. We take a deep breath in and a big sigh through the mouth as we just allow ourselves complete surrender into Shavasana. We surrender our bodies. We surrender our breath control because our bodies take care of that all on their own.
We surrender any attachment that we have to our thoughts. We surrender our hearts to love. And we surrender our experience to the present moment, simply staying in a state of pure awareness without judgment or expectations. We just simply are. Notice if your mind starts trying to make up stories about what's happening right now. Or maybe your thought processes have lured you away from the present moment. If that's the case, it's okay. Forgive yourself and come back to this moment, right now, right here, in pure awareness. Feeling back into your body, feeling the effects of your practice and the effects of simply being present during Shavasana. Begin to slightly move your toes a little. Maybe deepen your breath. The next time you inhale, spread your fingers and toes. As you exhale, relax them. Next time you breathe in deeply, stretch. Stretch like when you wake up. And exhale. Bend your knees. Roll to your right side. Use your left hand to press yourself up into sitting. As you find your seated position, find a nice straight spine. You can sit however you like. Let your hands face palms up on your knees or thighs. We're going to be doing Viloma Pranayama, our segmented in-breath, and I would love for you to do the mudras or finger positions with this. So it's a reminder that we breathe in 4 sniffs through the nose, so 4 segments as we inhale. 1 long, slow ujjayi exhale through the mouth, but we're going to coordinate a finger position with that. So with each sniff through the nose, we touch first the index finger, then the middle finger, and the ring finger, then the pinky finger. That's our 4 sniffs. As we do our long, slow ujjayi exhale through the mouth, we simply spread the palms of the hands, okay? And they're just resting on the knees or thighs. So let's all take a long, slow breath in together. Do that ujjayi exhale through your mouth. Here we go, sniffing in 4 times. Exhale. Breathing in. Exhaling. One more time. And exhale. Keep your eyes closed. Allow your breathing to return to normal. If any of those 4 finger positions that you were just doing during your Viloma pranayama felt particularly good, you can go back to that finger position or just let the hands rest palms up. We're simply going to sit for a few breaths in stillness and silence as a reminder that this is the point of our yoga practice. Slowly bringing your palms together in front of your heart. Take a moment in gratitude for your practice this morning. Gratitude for your healthy body. It truly is quite miraculous, and we're very fortunate to have these bodies. Gratitude for your breath. It's what's keeping your body alive. Gratitude for your awareness. As humans, we are gifted with the awareness of ourselves. We feel our bodies. We can watch our thoughts. We know we're breathing. It's truly a gift. And if we use it properly, it's amazing what we can accomplish with it. So remembering that what you do for yourself, you do for the world. Congratulate yourself for your practice today. Take one more huge inhale through the nose. Big happy sigh. Bringing palms together at the forehead. This just reminds us to stay present as much as possible, to be that pure awareness. Bringing palms together in front of the mouth. We're reminded to speak our truth. We're also reminded to speak our gratitude. And bringing palms together in front of the heart. We're reminded that we are pure love, and that if we keep our hearts open, that love can flow both ways. Thank you for joining me this morning. I hope it's the beginning of an amazing, spectacular week. Namaste.